Cinema Classics is sponsored by the Gateway Film Center and is produced by John DeSando and Johnny DiLoretto. Listen to shows online at wcbe.org. I'm John DeSando.
I'm Johnny DiLoretto.
This is Cinema Classics.
Think so.
All right. You know, in another world, we would have had a live presentation at the Gateway Film Center every month on a classic. That's not happening.
We would have been focusing on this month on Jimmy Stewart, or what were we supposed to?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
In any event, we were going to be sharing with audiences a screening of a classic film.
Yes.
The Philadelphia Story.
Oscar winner.
Oscar winner. One of the great rom-coms of all time, before they called them rom-coms. Sometimes they called them screwball comedies.
Yeah. And it certainly makes fun. It certainly makes fun of the mainline high class of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And has three of the high class actors in America.
Man, very rarely do you see like just such a powerhouse triumvirate like this of star power.
Oh my God.
Coupled with a script that gives each one of them just a dazzling array of memorable lines.
Oh my.
And, something to act with. You know, the Philadelphia Story is based on a play, Philip Berry play, I believe.
Yep, you're right.
It came out, a little backstory behind it was at this time, there was about a 5 or 6 year run of Katharine Hepburn flops. So many.
Oh, she was poison.
Labeled box office poison. That one's, Hollywood legend. So she ran off to New York to, ground herself back on the stage.
Yep.
And she found this play, The Philadelphia Story. Huge hit. Immediately, Hollywood buys the rights to it. They want to produce it with her. It's going to be her return to the big screen. She has this, in some ways, it's also the history behind it is fascinating because, I feel like we don't have women in this sort of role of power anymore. Or at least not the way it used to be.
Well, we're getting back, don't you think, with Charlize and...
We are, but I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a lot of roles that are as juicy as the ones Katharine Hepburn played, Joan Crawford, Bette Davis. Just not a lot of roles. Anyway, like that.
Yes.
Anyway, she comes back. She has all this power, right? She says, I have power to choose director and my leads. So she chooses George Cukor, who she's worked with many times before, and who's famously a woman's director.
Well, My Fair Lady.
My Fair Lady, among other things.
Yeah, among other things, right.
And then she
A Star is Born.
A Star is Born, right, yeah.
So you're right.
And then she picks Jimmy Stewart and Cary Grant to star opposite her in this romantic triangle. And it is a dazzling, sparkling, there's a line in the movie about... sparkly champagne, champagne is a heavy mist before my eyes, and whiskey is a slap on the back. And this movie is definitely the champagne mist.
Donald Ogden Stewart, I think, is the writer from the Berry play.
Yeah.
And he got the Oscar.
Yeah.
For this, so it is. You're right. Get these super actors with super dialogue and the kind of dialogue I love, which is the screwball type.
Yeah.
They're quickly bantering.
Yes, and almost unapologetically romantic.
Yep.
And big and funny. What was I going to say here?
Well, and we had talked about this before in looking at our allegorical films.
Mm-hmm.
Very much a commentary on the haves, and yet it is such a salutary view that you can't come away bitter about the people who have. You, in fact, love seeing it.
Right. And at this time, this is 1940, many, audiences reveled in seeing a kind of lifestyle that they couldn't do. It wasn't a sort of rub your nose in it situation. Yeah. It was more or less, hey, here, we can give you this, The premise, obviously, is that Hepburn is this wealthy socialite who is divorced from the Cary Grant character, C.K. Dexter Haven.
What a name, Stuart.
It's perfect. And so she's going to be remarried, and then the press, Jimmy Stewart, he shows up to cover this. He doesn't want to do it, but he falls in love with her, covering her for the society page.
And what an interesting character for the photographer, his assistant, Ruth Hussey.
Ruth Hussey.
And I think she was nominated if she didn't win.
Yeah, I think she was nominated. Yeah.
I mean, the cast is just down to the Uncle Willie and the old man.
Yeah.
They're all just perfectly cast. The black and white, I love the black and white. I'm looking at it again. That crisp black and white, so characteristic of that time.
And if you can see through the pretty veneer of the goings on, what you have here, little sort of skeletons pop up, right? So there's the father's infidelity.
Yes.
That is not sitting well with Hepburn. There's Uncle Willie's alcoholism. There's alcoholism all over. Everybody's drinking.
Oh my gosh!
But especially, there's the intimation that alcoholism might have led to some domestic abuse with C.K. Dexter Haven and Tracy.
The one I like that you're talking about, the best of them all, is the analysis of her own character, Tracy Lord. Audrey, listen to me. I still want to say Audrey. Katharine Hepburn, and deconstructing her place in the world as a privileged child, and looking at that, and even Dad helps her to begin to see that she is a goddess who doesn't want to be a goddess. There's a beautiful motif in this, carried throughout, and without hitting you over the head, she is a better person at the end once she experiences difficulties.
Exactly. You hit upon what is a line from this movie that I've never forgotten, and I think often about in moving through my own life. And it's something that Cary Grant says to her, when she's being petulant about something. He tells her, you'll never be a first-class woman or a first-class human being until you've learned to have some small regard for human frailty.
Yes, wonderful.
Isn't that something we should all just
line.
Have that on your refrigerator,
Great line.
on your desk at work, tattooed on your forehead?
And look she won the Oscar for this role, right?
Yeah.
But how much of a stretch is this for the daughter of a wealthy surgeon who has grown up exactly like these mainliners?
Right. Well, the beauty part of it is it's one of the great films of all time. It's got some of the best comic performances ever captured on film. It's a beautiful, fun movie.